Mod time is here. We got some Friday mods to take a look at. Farm Sim 25. A total 13 mods released. All platforms got 11 new, and PC and Mac players got 2 new. Lots of placeables today. Just want to let you guys know that right out of the gate. There are no vehicles and only a few pieces of equipment. It just is what it is. Check those timestamps, see what you want to see first, and let's jump right in. Starting off today, we have a unrealistic mod to take a look at. Some of my favorites, the CLAAS FLIEGL Trailer Pack. This is from HT Modding, and we've got quite a few goodies in here with it. So all of these trailers have modded capacity options, meaning makes it a little bit easier, but they don't have all those, wild loading patterns and things like that. The Colossus is epic, but sometimes you just want a realistic looking thing that makes things a little bit easier. Well, you can go with that if you would like. Now, my modded version of this trailer only holds 50,000 liters. They took this up and beyond to 100,000 right there. We do have wheel brand options for these, which is very nice, as well as the setup, so that's pretty cool. Decals can be removed, so you could debrand this thing if you really like. Trailer hitch, yes or no, around towards the back. And then we have colors for the chassis, the main color, the extension at the top, the fenders even, and the rims. So that is very great. Throwing them chrome boys for you. Now, we won't go through every single one, but we can see that we've got forged trailers, which have been turned into full-fledged bulk trailers. I like that on those cargos. They're pretty trailers. They're just usually for silage, so I never use them. And then we've got the loading wagon set up here as well. This will go all the way up to 200,000 liters as well. You can also have it with or without the silage additive tank, even 100,000 if you just want a little bit more. I find 100,000 is about the sweet spot for loading wagons. You don't have to load them as much, but it is very nice. There's that. And then we've got the exact same things as well for the FLIEGL. Looks like my game's decided it wanted to freeze again. Hang on. There we go. I don't know what's going on with that. Probably has something to do with the fact that I have almost 900 mods installed. Who knows? But there you go. I do find it interesting. The FLIEGL trailers do not have a debrand option. Oh, doesn't look like any of the rest of them do. Maybe just the first one. I feel like this loading wagon really doesn't want to be loaded up. So, yeah, there you go. Regardless, at the end of the day, if you like playing with CLAAS stuff or like just doing realistic looking things that makes things a little bit easier for you, this is a good pack to go for. Another trailer mod, we have the Krampe RamBody AS Series. This is from Simon LS Design. Capacity on here is going to be 52,500 liters and down to 45,300 without the extension. Wheel brands are going to be pretty standard stuff, so always nice to see those. And I like a good Frittstein wide tire myself. Main color options are going to have red or black. However, if you have the color mod configuration thing from Giants, which is all platforms, you can change it whatever you want. I do find it interesting that this does not have wheel colors though. So there's that. And our last tool today is going to be the Lizard Multicultor. This is a cultivator, 150 horsepower required, 5.4 meter work width, and 9 miles an hour. Very nice design on here. However, no customization options. Now we make our way into placeables, which is where the majority of the new mods for all platforms lie today. First one's the Small Cement Factory. This is pretty cool, nice and tiny, and I like the details around the outside. This would definitely look pretty cool if you're doing like a building project and you wanted to put something outside it that looked neat. You could easily do this and just hide all of your icons and triggers and stuff. Ooh, I'm starting to get stick drift again. I'm gonna watch that. Anyway, let's take a look in here. We have cement bricks, cement bags, and roof plates. All the inputs are going to be stones. It's 24,000 liters of them, and then from there you get all of your products. So for our stone or our cement brick, you've got 1,000 in, 125 out. Cement bags is going to be 1,000 in, 180 out, and your roof plates 1,000 in and 125 out. Pretty neat mod and very, very compact. Oh yeah, and it's only 36 grand. Next up, we got the Pig Barn Medium. This actually has 2 mods in it. They hold a lot as well, 334 pigs. So of the 2, the one with 98,000 right here, this has a regular water supply, so you will have to give them water. However, for 4 grand more, it has an automatic water supply. However, the issue is it doesn't tell you that. You just see 2 of them that cost a little bit different, and you have to find that information in the mod desk. So it would have been nice to have those as different mods. Nonetheless, here you are. You can do a custom fence, and you could place down the grass at the back as well, which is very nice. Coming through, Pretty standard stuff. Food's 35,000, slurry's 100,000, and straw is going to be 45,000. Oh yeah, and speaking of that slurry, you're going to find that over here. And if you want to do manure, well, simply put an extension down and give them some straw. On the flip side of that, we have the medium pig shed, not to be confused with pig barn medium. Even my vocabulary is a little bit confused today. This doesn't hold a lot. 40 pigs, not much bigger than the one that we just looked at. As a matter of fact, I think it might be just about the same size altogether. 51,000 liters of slurry, and you're going to get 15,000 of straw. Numbers are quite low, and for an expansion this big, I would have expected more pigs. I'm not sure how they reach the number of 40. Maybe it's more realistic. Not quite sure, but at least in Farming Simulator, makes it a bit difficult. It's a really, really big area just for those 40 pigs. But again, I'm just talking about the way that I play and my experiences with Farm Sim. You may find that this is perfect for you, and that is totally cool. Next on the list, we've got the Transfer Silo from BB Mods. This mod adds a multi-fruit silo that connects directly to the train system. Or not. I put it down on a map that doesn't have a train system, so we're going to have to take a look at it after this one over on Riverbend once I switch over. Nonetheless, with this one, you can easily load up the trains for fast transport of all products because it is multi-fruit. Yes, you've got bills, pallets, bulk fill, even liquids. You can fill up the train cars with those liquids. However, they will appear as the last thing that you filled up that train car with. Hopefully that makes some sense. Looks like capacity is going to be 500,000 liters, so it's not a whole lot. However, this is a transfer over at the end of the day, and the trains barely hold around that much. Anyway, I think it's actually a little bit less. So, Mr. BB Mod says in order for the train side of the silo to hang over the tracks, the owned field must be as close to the train tracks as possible, or must use Place Anywhere mod. Well, I have purchased this land right here, so we are on Riverbend Springs. I bought farmland number 10. However, I'm also using Place Anywhere. So there is that. I've also removed some trees. I don't know if this is the best place for this, but it's where I'm gonna put it. So let's see if we can get ourselves about like that. That'll kind of flatten everything out, at least make it level with the train itself. Now we don't have to do this part. However, if you want the icons to be able to line up properly, you probably want to flatten this area out. I'm gonna get my silo and turn on free build so it places it properly right where it's supposed to be. Can't believe I'm saying this, but the train's in the way. I'm gonna have to move this out of the way just so I can place it down right. All right, so we can see right there, we've got our icons perfectly right where they should be. Bam. I did too much, I think. Flattened out way too much. So we got everything set up. Everything is ready to rock and roll. The tops of the train do open up, which is really neat. So if we back it up, you guys could check this out. If we back up, boop, it opens automatically, which is very, very cool. Now, if you had any silo system near this, it would do that anyway. So there is that. Now, I'm going to select the front train car, and we're just going to fill it up with wheat. Now, if we bring over here, we are able to dump the wheat in, which is great. And through here, now we can see wheat has been delivered, or is being delivered, rather. Now, we do have a liquid container right here, and I wanted to show you guys, so talking to BB Dude right now, actually, when I'm recording this, he said that these should work with liquids because he added liquids to train car for this mod. However, I'm not seeing any liquids in here. I've added in water, milk, and I've even added in our slurry. All right, so it's a bit of a miscommunication, and also it is a not understanding how the mod is working. See, through here, we can't see any triggers. Here is the only thing I'm like, all right, well, that's where everything's gonna come out. And so when I pull through, all right, you know, it nothing, and you can see the triggers down there. However, the liquid one is not where the main auger is. And so when you're pulling up and you're like, all right, well, that one didn't fill, and you check this one, and you're like, well, that one didn't fill either, that's not going to work. What you got to do is you got to get in front of the auger, right beside where the tanks are, and then you're able to fill up with everything else. So, like, I got water here. Last thing I had in here was grain, so it looks like grain, and so on and so forth. So don't let that get confusing to you. Boom. So technically we have water, and technically it can be sold. So there you go. That is how that works. Hopefully that helps explain a few things. I told BB Dude to move the trigger, but that's just me. Next up, the old buildings pack of old Estonian style buildings. These are from our good friend over Carl TG. We do have a full interior in here, which is great news. We even have a bathroom as well. How cool is that? This is where you're going to be changing your clothes right there. And then, of course, we come over to the bed, and that's where we get our sleepy time action on. We do have a nice TV showing over there, so that is very cool. And then just kind of open. It's like a big, nice log cabin. Love it. And then we can turn the lights on right here. There you go. Shut that, and whenever we come back downstairs, here we have a full storage area to put anything that you need. We also have a silo here. Almost forgot what it was called. Silage silo, so that's cool. And then we've got a regular shed, which kind of reminds me a little bit of under here, but not exactly. And then we have an old modified version of one of our base game silos, except it is old. That's pretty cool, though. Capacity is going to be 350,000 on that one. Next on the list, the Farm Gate Pack from FSG Modding and Tasman. This includes a lot of different gates, so you may be able to see all but one are exactly the same, but we get them in these different things. So we got like a nice wooden stone, brick. We've got some decorative stone there, a little bit different on that one. That one's wood. This one's more of like a fence setup. That one's kind of neat. And then we have the privacy one, of course. Open sesame. Open sesame seeds. I don't know how to open it. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Nonetheless, there you go. There are your Farm Gate Pack sets. One thing to note, these are in decorations, not in fences. Next to last new for all platforms, you've got your modular ramps and platforms. These are pretty sweet. So they are all platforms and or ramps. So this one's just kind of like a full drive across setup. This one is technically an end piece because we have a piece of wood down here, and then we have multiple different ramps to choose from. So this is the smallest one. This one is the same width but more gradual, and then this one is double wide and gradual. So that is pretty cool. This is how you are going to set these up. So if you go in, you choose your ramp piece. So you can see like this one, for example, will line up perfectly with that piece. So you can drive up straight from the side. Let's say you've got one of the regular ramps here. Let's go for the longer one. We can kind of build up all of this. I feel like I'm on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater right now, building my own setup. There we go. We got that to snap on, and then we'll take one of the smaller ones because we don't need anything on crazy on the other end. And there you go. We've just built a what do they call these things? Tables? I don't remember. Nonetheless. There you go. You've got that if you want. This also could be pretty sweet. I had the idea. I was thinking about this. When you're using the go-kart tracks, I don't know if they'll fit on there. Oh, they do fit on there. Oh, yeah, look at that. They almost fit perfectly. So we could utilize these pieces with the go-kart tracks if you really wanted. Spin this around, put it about right there. Nice. And then you get another piece and kind of actually could even, oh, this would be a good idea too. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Spin it around, spin it around. There it is. And just line it up like that. Oh, crap. Well, don't do that. But that does work. That's so awesome. And lastly, we have the advertising sign for $5,000. This could be yours. It actually changes on its own. So you got Massey Ferguson there, Case IH, and New Holland. And then I don't know how long it takes to change, but it does change. There we go. See, now you got Fendt, CLAAS, and John Deere. It was only one-sided. We do have all the appropriate components on the back side as well, which is very neat, and could be found in decorations right near the top. Depending on how far you move it around, it will say a couple different things. Let's see. Can we line it up with that just to be perfect? Hey, there we go. Now they both say something different. Jumping over to our new ones for PC and Mac players, we have the Royer Seed Hopper. This can be filled up with seeds, fertilizers, animal foods, stuff like that. It's basically a bulk fill, as you can see down here at the very bottom. It's got capacity options between 2,000 and 2,500, and you can add a little chute extension at the bottom. Now, what is this really for? Well, you can load it up with loaders, so we've got places for pallet forks down there, and you can use it to fill up your seeds and things like that. A couple days ago, we got a container, which could be used. That was from Legacy Ag, and this is kind of like that, except all metal. And lastly, we have the Advanced Deadwood missions. Last mod today, they've changed the cuttable trees are chosen randomly. I don't think that's the right words. To provide more variety in Deadwood missions. New missions with other trees also have different names, such as storm damage or tree cutting. The mission trees have been given extra hotspots as well, which can be changed in the Lua, which is very, very cool. Currently, the mod is single player only. We get an idea from some of these screenshots at it. If you want to take a look, we can also see up at the top right-hand side here, we have contract tree cutting, contract storm damage, a contract deadwood. So I'm trying to get my words together. It's very early in the morning right now. And there it is. That is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. Get subscribed if you're new. And join DjGoHam. Bam! Double check your notifications. That way you never miss videos like this one. Hope you have an awesome day. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you in the next one.